Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Curiosity Rocks, and here is my review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier Series 1 Episode 1. Now, I am very pleasantly surprised because I thought this was going to be sort of just all the action sequence type things from the MCU. But it's actually a lot more than that, and I really enjoyed it. So, there's a lot of action at the start, so if you're not like me, you're not really keen on action stuff, stick with it, because you get more than that, you get a lot. So, and I love the Marvel logo titles and the music, it's so exciting, I love it, I love them. So the opening scene, Falcon is ironing his shirt because he's putting a suit on, and then he puts picks a shield off his bed and puts it into his carrying bag, Captain America's shield. And we hear a replay of some of the conversation that he had with Steve from the end of Endgame about how does it feel, and it says, it feels like it belongs to someone else. Oh, I think that bit is. Anyway, there's a big plane. There's then a big plane, and these criminals are the LAF, and they've got Versant's plane, and they're over Tunisian airspace. So Falcon is deployed from the other plane, and he's flying along, and Taurus is the guy on the ground sending intel. So Falcon gets to this plane, but it's already been hijacked. So Taurus says, "Oh, we're going to need to call some people." I thought that was quite funny. And then, so he's got Red Wing, and he deploys Red Wing to laser open the plane. So Falcon can fly in, and he starts fighting the hijackers. So there's lots of action scenes. And then the plane's pilot is shot. The plane starts descending, but then the autopilot kicks in. And then there's more fighting scenes, and the hijackers have got them big flying squirrel type skydive suits, so they all jump out in them. And one of them's carrying the hostage. So there's this big skydiving action sequence through a Grand Canyon style fly through, and to be honest, it looks like Disney have said, "Here, put this in so we can market a ride about this." So it kind of looks like what you'd have for a Disney ride in the new Marvel area. So, but well done on everybody doing the fight sequences and the SFX stuff. Everybody's doing a really good job. I don't find action scenes, I find them kind of boring unless there's a weird spin on them, like in the Spider-Man Mysterio antics. I like stuff like that, but just plain action sequences, I just get really bored. So I was kind of getting bored as like, at this point, it's like, this is boring. And then Sam rescues the hostage. But then we go to Tunisia, and Sam and Taurus are at sort of a cafe area, and he's fixing bits of Red Wing and the tech stuff on it. And then there's a guy comes up and he says, "Avengers!" And they rescued his wife from the blip, and he got his wife back. So he speaks in Tunisian to Sam, and Sam speaks in Tunisian back to him. And then Taurus has got this augmented tech, and there's this group that they use a handprint to signify stuff, and he finds handprints through the phone, and they use a red handprint. And this group are called the Flag Smashers, and their ideal is they want a unified world without borders, and this is sort of the moral dilemma of the viewer, is that I kind of agree with that. I agree with their ideal, like instead of having like humans in factions all over the world and borders and bordering them up and people fighting over borders, just make the whole world just humans. And it's like all humans surviving together instead of having factions and fighting over your area and your bit of land on planet Earth being, oh, we're the most powerful on the world, oh, we want that bit of area and we want that bit of it. Just make it equal. But the flag smashers leader is going about this the wrong way. But the overall ideal of that is I agree with. So there's your dilemma. So there's loads of online theories about where's Steve, and I like how there's this sort of nod towards the fans having all their theories about Steve. It's like how slightly meta it is. And there's a big theory going around saying he's in a base on the moon. Now I assume that's from the comics, or is it called Super Friends, where they're in a big base? But apparently they think he's in a base on the moon and he's looking down at everybody. And then Torres says, did you take him to the moon? And then Falcon's got to go to Washington. He says, what you doing? And Torres says, what you doing there? And he says, moon stuff. So Falcon's in Washington and there's a massive Steve picture. And they're at the exhibition about Captain America. And he's giving a speech about Steve and about how we need new heroes. And Rhodey's there too. And they're honouring Steve's legacy and saying, thank you, Captain America. This belongs to you. And he puts the shield on display. And it goes in a display box in the Cap exhibition. So as they walks through the exhibition with Rhodey and they're having a heart-to-heart talk, and then they walk past a picture of Bucky and we sort of zoom in a bit, and Sam was talking to Rhodey about what he said to Steve when Steve first gave him the shield, and he said that the shield doesn't belong to Sam and it belongs to somebody else, it's just Steve's shield. And Rhodey said, but the world's broken, people do need somebody to fix it, they need a hero. And he's like, come on Falcon, come on Sam, you deserve that, you need to be that hero. You are valid and you are worthy of carrying the shield. He's trying to instill this idea into Sam, but Sam's just not there yet, he's not ready. And he's looking at the shield and there's a gorgeous profile shot of Sam. Look at it's amazing. It's a gorgeous shot, that is. Oh, I might do fan art of that. I should. But I hope somebody's doing screen caps, because I want that screen cap so I can do fan art, so I can have that as a reference, because that was beautiful. And then change scene, and we're in this big sort of palacey type place, and there's like men in suits and stuff walking it down, and then we get a big jump scare because Bucky punches through the wall, and that was really loud. It's like, oh, thanks Buck. And then we see, but he's dressed as the Winter Soldier, and then he gets someone, he says, Hail Hydra, but phew, it's just a dream. He wakes up, he's like, and then we see Bucky is in therapy, and the government are making him go to therapy so they know for sure that he can't be manipulated into being a bad soldier again, into being a bad guy. But he's kind of keeping secrets from the therapist, and he's saying, are you following the rules? And he's like, and he's not telling the truth, because Senator Atwood, he's got to go and make amends for the bad things he did. So there's this Senator Atwood, and she was abusing her power, and she gets in a car with somebody, and he's got this sort of gadget, and he can remote control her car, and then he punches the other person and the car, and we see this overlaid with the therapist saying what the rules are for Bucky, that he can't do anything illegal, so you remote control the car, but was that illegal really? And then make sure nobody gets hurt, and he only hurt the bad person. And then the rule 3 is he has to say, I am James Bucky Barnes, and you are part of my efforts to make amends, which he does to Senator Atwood. So he's kind of following the rules. The therapist he wants him to open up and start trusting people, but he's finding it so hard, because like 90 years, he's 100 years old, and that for 90 years he's been constantly fighting, so you can imagine how utterly hard it would be to adjust to not fighting and to trusting people. And he's got no friends and family, he's got no particular contacts on his phone apart from Sam. So it's like, therapist is asking what does he want now, and the therapist is also an ex-soldier, so she knows sort of how it feels to go back to being civilian. And then I put in brackets that my interpretation, Bucky just feels lost. He doesn't have a purpose, because like, what's he gonna do now? So, and then his friend is called Yori, who's like an old guy, and he's fighting with this other guy called Unique over the trash, because Unique's put the trash out on his bit like of buildings, like, oh, but that's your trash, I put it there, and then so Yori is Bucky's friend, and he's encouraging him to ask out the bartender. I think they're in Chinatown, and is that encouraging to ask out the bartender. You could play Pinocchio, I don't know what that is, but I assume it's like a board game or something that older people like. I don't know. But then Yori sees some food and bean paste mochi, and it reminds him of his son, and his son was killed working abroad, but the big secret is that Bucky killed him, but Yori doesn't know that. And then switch location, and we're in Delaware, Louisiana, and Falcon's driving to this fishing dock to see his nephews and his sister, and that's what I really like. It really shows you the relationships of the characters. I love this stuff. It really adds so many more layers to the films, because we actually get to meet their families and understand their motivations more. So he meets his nephews. His nephews are awesome. They're so sweet and cute and playing video games, and I want to play video games with them. That'd be cool. And then so Sarah, their family has owned a fishing boat, but they're in a lot of financial trouble now, so Sarah's got to sell the family boat. But Falcon, he doesn't want to give up the family boat. He says that, no, don't give it up, because you can charter it out and make more money. And Sarah says to him, to the rescue her, and Sam says, always. I thought that was sweet. So switch scene again, we're back with Bucky, and we're meeting up with the bar owner, And Bucky said, well, I tried a bit online dating. All I saw was tiger photos. So I wonder if that is a nod to Tiger King. That's quite funny. So, and the bartender, she wants to play battleships, but she's also making it a drinking game. So they have to drink if they hit or they miss. Just drink every turn. But then I thought this was a bit silly. She actually asks Bucky. He's already told her he's 103, and I don't know if this really confused because she then asks him, "So how do you get on with your parents?" He's just told you he's over 100 years old, and you're asking him how he gets on with his parents. Yeah, that does not make sense at all. So I don't know if she thinks he's joking when he says 103, or she knows him and she knows how old he is. Because why would you ask him how he gets on with his parents? Why did you ask? Come on! That was so silly. I didn't understand that. Ooh, 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 fan theory alert! I reckon that the bartender lady is actually a Skrull. Because why would you ask a human being who's just told you he's 100 years old how he gets on with his parents? I looked it up, and Skrulls have a natural lifespan apparently of 210, so it would make sense that they think his parents are still around. Now, the other alternative to this is that she thought he was joking when he said he was 100, but his friend is Yori again. Yori seems like a chatterbox, and the blip's been on the news loads, and everybody knows Captain America, and Captain America's stand down, and there's loads of theories on the internet, and surely they'd know about Captain America's best friend Bucky. So why would she not know who he is? So either she's lived under a rock and she doesn't know who he is, and she thinks he was joking when he said he was 100, or she's a Skrull and she doesn't, and she's like a bit of a noob Skrull or naive Skrull, and she, without thinking, she asks, so how do you get along with your parents? Because Skrulls, they live to a couple of 100 years, so to a Skrull, then Bucky would still have his parents about. So that indicates to me that maybe she's a Skrull. So that's my fan theory alert. I will do these fan theories if I think of something after I've done the main filming, so they might not appear every video, but if I think of something in when I'm actually filming my episode with you, I'll do another fan theory little song. See, that's my fan theory. What a silly thing to ask. So, and then Bucky goes to Yori's house in the pretense that he owes him some money. I think he does owe him some money. But Yori opens the door and Bucky sees the photo and the shrine to his son. And then we see a list with a circle around it. Says Wai Nakayima. So I don't know if that's the list from it's like a flashback from when he was the Winter Soldier and that was his target, or whether that's his make amends list and that's Yori's full name. So Then switch scene again, back with Sam, and he's cooking with the family because they cook food to give out to people in need. So they're cooking all that and packaging it up. And he's got the bank appointment with his sister to get a loan. And his nephew's like, yes, we can play video games. So, and then we're in Switzerland then, and Torres is undercover at a Flag Smashers meeting. And then there's these bags come smashing out the window of this building, and then the leader of the Flag Smashers all masked up, and he jumps out after them. And then Torres goes after him, and this leader, he beats Torres up. And then we're back with Sam and his sister at the bank appointment, and the bank guy's like, do I know you? And then Sam goes, oh, Falcon! And he has a selfie. I thought that was cute. And they're talking about the loan and said, well, you've got no income. And Falcon, because Falcon was blipped, for those 5 years, he didn't earn any money. So his sister says, well, you can't earn money if you don't exist. So, and then the bank guy said, sorry, they can't be approved for the loan. And because he thinks that, well, surely you earn a lot as an Avenger, don't you? And then Sam says, well, no, it's all done on goodwill. We don't really earn that much. So they cannot be approved, so they walk out the bank and they say, Sam said, I'm going to go up to every bank I can till you get that loan to save the boat. And then they deliver the food to those in need. And then we're back at the dock, and Sam's in the boat and he's trying to fix the engine. And it's not starting. And then Sam, we'll see all the family pictures stuck up in the boat. And then Torres contacts him, and he's got the video from Switzerland of the leader of the Flag Smashers. And we see how the Flag Smashers beat him up, and he's showing Sam the pictures. And then a TV report comes on telly, and it's the guy, one of the bosses from the Ministry of Defence and stuff, and he said, we need a hero for America, we have a new Captain America. And then we get this guy all dressed up as Captain America, turns round, and he's the cheesiest looking white guy ever, and he just looks cheesy and dodgy as fuck. And Sam's like, it's like they've got this other guy, and Sam didn't feel ready to be Captain America, so they've just got this cheesy white guy who looks like nowhere near as amazing as Steve. He just looks like the cheesiest knockoff fancy dress white guy ever. And then that's the end of the episode. The end credits are really cool, because we see all this ripped plasterboard and graffiti on walls and ripped paper and splashes of pictures of Sam and Captain America and words. I think one was a list of words, which I think has some significance. So it's interesting how they have the credits they have the credits in the movies, where you get the artistic credits with all the extra art on, and then you get the black and white just text credits. So I find that interesting. So that was the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was pleasantly surprised. I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed meeting all the extra friends and family and understanding more about their backgrounds and their motivations and their feelings, because there's not a lot of time to get that in the movies. So I think these TV shows are such a brilliant idea, because they really give you a lot of background and a lot more depth to the characters. So when you go back to watch the films, there's these extra layers to the films. So I just think it's amazing. I can't wait to see what merchandise we get. But so yeah, I really like it. I really enjoyed it. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Yay!